This Corey Bradshaw, Mr. RTBA, Mr. These boys can't touch me on my worst day.
And this is JJ Solomon.
And this is the Spit Bucket Podcast. This is the Spit Bucket Podcast. Shout out to everybody out here. Shout out to everybody out here from the 214 to across the pond. We need y'all to share this. We are the Spit Bucket Podcast. This episode 9, but this is a new episode 9. We doing it now from here to going forward. We're going to be live in the studio. It's me, Mr. RTBA, Mr. 214, with my dog, JJ Solomon. We in the building, and we finna show y'all how we coming going forward. JJ, what's popping, my guy?
Bro, I missed y'all. And if I'm coming in too loud, I'm sorry. We're working through some bumps and bruises to get this going. We're excited, but I missed being on our show. I didn't necessarily, we don't need all the screens and all that good stuff, man, but I missed the show, and I'm excited because there's so much to talk about, bro.
Yeah, it ain't like, but let's be honest, it ain't like we just went away just because we wanted to go away. It was a lot going on. Me having my new baby. Shout out to Cameron.
Congratulations. Little Cameron.
Yeah, shout out to Kyrie. Shout out to my wife, Taylor, you know.
How's that been, bro? Before we start talking about boxing, let's talk about that. That's a huge thing in the life of IOTBA and Spit Bucket.
Yeah.
No, but we got a new family member.
You want me to let the truth come to the power and the power come to the truth? JJ Solomon, I ain't had no sleep in 2 months. Can you say amen? Amen.
When Corey calls me on Sunday mornings and I'm like, I'm sleeping in, bro. And he forget all about what sleep was. So,
no,
go ahead.
No, go ahead. It ain't the same no more, but it's the most beautifulest thing that God created for man or woman to create, and I'm enjoying it every day.
Bro, I'm so happy for you, man. I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for Taylor.
Yeah.
It was a long road.
Yeah, it was a long. It was a long road, but you know, I kept a chugga. I was a little engine that could.
Yeah, man. So I'm happy for you. I definitely wanted to take some time to say congratulations to you and Mrs. IOTBA, Mrs. Taylor Bradshaw. We got a lot of love for you guys, man. So congrats.
So that to you though too.
Yeah, but I don't got no new babies.
No, you ain't got no new baby, but you know, you got
no pets.
Shout out to Joey, JT, Amanda, the whole camp over there at the Solomon household. What's popping over there?
Bro, I got my boy's about to start his sophomore year in high school. My little girl, Joey, and my son, JT, my little girl, Joey Elena. That's almost all 5 members of NSYNC for anybody who pays attention. Joey, JT, she's about to start 7th grade, and man, they're just growing too fast. So when I tell you to don't blink and enjoy every second of Cameron and Kyrie, man, I mean it with all my heart. So hold on, how's this coming up? Is everybody, we got comments coming? Is it looking all right?
Can y'all see us good? Everybody, if you want her, if you could comment, we're a live show. We want y'all to comment and let us know if y'all can see us. We want y'all to like, share, tell your friends. This is the first annual episode of us being in the studio, but this is the Spit Bucket Podcast, EP number 9. And trust me when I tell you, we come back with a vengeance to where we're going to show up and show out. JJ, sorry, there's been a lot going on.
It's been a whole lot going on, man. And again, I want to let you take a few more seconds to set these expectations. Our previous setup, we were coming out once a week. There wasn't, we had the full edit to do. And shout out to, just want to take a second to shout out to Devon Jones.
Yeah, shout out to Devon.
Yeah, at Creative Jones. He put our first batch together. He was the one that was editing it. And he made some beautiful work, and we're very grateful for him. We just wanted to be more audience engaging and more live scene, so that's why we're here and that's why we're doing this. So big shout out to Mr. Devon Jones. We appreciate it.
And you're right. And before we get into boxing, like the Spit Bucket Podcast, we're not just about boxing, going to covering these athletes and just seeing, the glitz and glamour. We about everything that's been a part of boxing when it first began until now. Talk about the Tsb Warriors Foundation. Sir.
Tsb Warrior Foundation, a big thing of what we're doing. So we're saying this right now as we're relaunching. 10% of everything we do, from the NFT world to the merch to whatever it is, you know, chats and super chats, 10% of everything we do is going to our Warrior Foundation, which essentially is helping folks like Gerald McClellan and Pritchard Cologne, who have been permanently injured in the ring. We want to do our part in giving back to everybody in boxing, not just talk about Canelo and Spence and Crawford and all the names. We want to get back to the legends. We want to spotlight the amateurs, the youngsters that are coming up. But yeah, just to touch on that TSB Warrior Foundation, if you ever buy a shirt from us, if you ever buy an NFT, if you ever contribute during the chat, just know that you're helping a good cause, because 10% of everything's going to our Warrior Foundation.
I'm glad you brought up NFT, because that's also something that we launched, our NFT collection, the Big Head collection. We had a successful event, April the 16th, Earl the True Spence Jr. versus Jorganis Ugas. We had the 3 biggest suites in Cowboy Stadium. So we want to give a big shout out to all the NFT holders who bought one of our NFTs, and what it could do for you with our NFTs, because every event we do, whether it's in Dallas or wherever you at across the world, if we do an event, you will be able to get in that event with our NFT. And JJ, tell them more about the NFTs and the plans we got in the future for that.
We got George in the building, but he doesn't want to get on screen and talk. But that George Rendon is our NFT guy, and he pretty much assisted in us getting them first big heads put together. Like Corey said, if you bought a big head, a TSB big head, then you were in the building there on April 16th with us. You were in the building on April 16th. But we got more coming out. We've got a whole new collection coming out. Look out for our social media. We'll be talking about it. A bunch of perks, live parties, fight streams, all sorts of deals. So keep up with the Spit Bucket. Whether you're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, we're letting everybody know that the NFT piece is a big part of what we're doing, and we want to continue to grow that piece of it, continue to provide for our current NFT owners and the ones that are coming on board. So we've got a whole lot to do with that as well, man. We've been busy. Like you said, we haven't just been chilling at home. You've been becoming a dad, and we've been at the amateur events, and we've been at the Junior Olympics screaming that. We did the NFT event for Spence and Ugas. We covered Virgil Ortiz, which we'll get into a little bit today, but man, I think we've done about enough warm and fuzzy, about ready to.
But no, because you know we had another big thing happen to TSB, the Spit Bucket podcast. We had another big thing that happened to us, and we're so grateful for the opportunity with this young company in KO Therapeutics.
Absolutely.
Being the main sponsor of the Spit Bucket podcast when we stream on any platform, KO Therapeutic. Shout out to everybody, every individual, every person in the organization.
We're live.
Yeah, we like, that ain't me.
Where's that coming from? Oh, I know what's happening right now. Hold on real quick.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah,
there we go.
Yeah, but shout out to KO Therapeutic. They are the sponsors of the Spit Bucket podcast. Right now, we wanted to come on here. We want to do our live show, introducing and letting y'all know how it's going to go going forward. We're going to have a KO Therapeutic phone line where anybody from the 2142 across the pond, when we come to that segment, you'll be able to chime in, give your thoughts, and tell us what you think. You want to speak more of KOJ?
Man, I've got nothing but great things to say about KO Therapeutics and their whole team. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me grab some.
Yeah, because it was such a big deal, you know, to get that sponsorship by KO Therapeutic. They showed belief in me and JJ, the Spit Bucket podcast, and everybody who is involved in the Spit Bucket podcast. Like our guy up here, George Rendon, not on the camera, but he's sitting directly to the right with me. We are the Spit Bucket podcast, just with KO Therapeutics believing in us, a young company who's on the rise, who do a lot of great things with this KO Therapeutic for all the boxers, amateurs. It ain't even just for boxers. It's for all athletes.
So KO Therapeutics, that's what I'm holding up right here. It's CBD pain treatment. And I tell you what, you can ask this guy sitting across from me. When we travel, I'm laying down on the airport floor, on the ground on the airport. I'm laying out in the middle of interviews sometimes because I got chronic back issues, man. And I've seen this obviously being around at events and that sort of deal. we see the KO Therapeutics name come up. We reached out to Coach Montoya, Michael Montoya over at Montoya Boxing Gym. A lot of love. And they let us try it. I didn't want to have somebody on the show who we haven't tried out, and just KO Therapeutics is legit.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
We didn't want to have nobody on the show who just on the show because they're a sponsor. We wanted to really believe in this product, basically.
Yep. So KO Therapeutics, I'll just do a quick. Hey, look, check this out. So I'm still learning this system, guys. But just so y'all know, I can't find it on here just yet. Anyhow, check out KOCBD.com. You use the code TSB10, you'll get hooked up. Lovely folks at KO Therapeutics. I promise, if you got backaches, ankle problems, if you're an athlete, if you're a worker, if you're out there working in the hot sun, whatever the case, if you just have old school injuries, KO Therapeutics, put it on. I promise you're gonna love it. But big shout out to those.
Yeah. Also with KO Therapeutics, it's for all athletes. I don't want, because we are a boxing show, and I know this is for a lot of boxers, because if you ain't in the gym with these boxers and see the training and the rigorous work that they do to be in the position that they're at, you wouldn't understand with this type of product in KO Therapeutics, which is grown on a farm, which everything is 100% healthy for your body. I'm telling you, everybody, make sure y'all go to KO Therapeutics,
KOCBD.com.
KOCBD.com. Make sure y'all go put in our code TSB10 to get y'all discount. Y'all rock with Mr. LTBA, rock with JJ Solomon, rock with the Spit Bucket, rock with KO Therapeutics.
Don't leave home without it. I need to have a nice little catchphrase. But
let's get into
go,
it.
Corey.
I mean,
Go. What's the most? What we have? We're coming right off of the return, the take back.
Yeah.
We're going to talk a little bit about today's breaking news.
Yeah. Let's go into breaking news first,
Yeah,
because it's going to lead into the
for
the
sure, you're
return.
right.
But let's go into the breaking news of Adrian, the Problem Broner. He backed out of the fight. He wrote on there because he had mental health issues, and it was things that he had to deal with. If you're familiar with mental health, and you ever had anybody in your family who dealt with such thing as mental health, you know that is a real sensitive subject. So you must take a person at their words. That's not nothing that you play with. When a person cries out for help from the 214 across the pond, and when we talk about a guy, Adrian Broner, who's magnetic when it comes to popularity and people know who he is. So I know a lot of people made jokes, said, oh, Adrian Broner wasn't in good shape. Oh, he couldn't make the weight. Oh, this just AB being AB. No, you got to understand, when you're in a sport like this and you get the rise like Adrian, the Problem Broner did, you're going to always have that taste in your mouth to have that feeling.
Man, I agree. And I'm going to take a second, bro, because the first thing that everybody jumped on social media and did was attack Adrian Broner. They attacked Ryan Garcia. They attacked Danny Garcia when athletes bring up mental health issues. I know it's easy to say that Adrian Broner has made this bed so he needs to sleep in it, from all his outside the ring antics. But we're nobodies. We're peons. Yeah. We can't say. I forgot who I saw today on our group chat, on our group actually, Spit Bucket Podcast. If you look us up on Facebook. Yeah.
Instagram, everything.
I forget who it was that said it, but he was sitting there saying, "I believe Danny. I don't believe Ryan. I don't believe it." Listen, man. When it comes to mental health, when it comes to depression, when it comes to anxiety, it's something we should all take seriously, because if it's a cry for help, you don't know if it's a cry for attention. Like, it's not up to us. These are legitimate issues that fighters are having. And here's the problem in our world, in this world of boxing or any competition or sport or anything along those lines, but specifically in combat fighting for men and women. But they have to eat those feelings. They have to swallow it up. They have to not be soft, which is where I think that's a huge issue, that we need to have these conversations, bro. Like, it's not up to us to decide. AB's obviously gone through something. his whole damn career because the guy had his whole future in front of him. And who got in his way? I mean, obviously you can point out all these extra factors, but Adrian Broner got in Adrian Broner's way for most of his career. And so to me, there's something obviously wrong. And the fact that he's saying something about it, we need to back up. We don't need to criticize because that if we criticize AB, then these kids are gonna think we're gonna criticize them when they speak up. So that's my 2 cents on it. I take it very serious. AB, Adrian Broner, I hope you get better, man, and I appreciate you speaking up and talking about it.
Yeah, we appreciate any athlete who speak up when you got problems like that. And y'all got to understand, this Adrian the problem, bro. You know, this is a guy who's magnetic. When he talk, everybody from the 214 to across the pond, they are going to listen. So when this dude put out something like that, he knew the type of backlash it was going to get. And when I think about mental health, I think that is something that we shouldn't play with. We shouldn't be malicious about mental health. Like you say, AB and his antics. Yeah, AB have had antics. You know, maybe a lot of stuff he did in his career, it could play its part with him going through what he's going through right now. But what he did through his career that could play his part of what he's going through right now, that means nothing right now because he's crying out for help. He's letting everybody from the 214 to across the pond know that he's having these problems. And if you're a real friend of Adrian Broner, a real friend, you're going to reach out and touch that guy.
100%, man. And I feel like it's everybody who's close to him. I don't care if you're close to him, you reach out and you make sure they're good because it takes a lot in this industry to come out and say something like that, like you said, Corey, knowing he's going to get some backlash. So, listen, I will say, since Danny Garcia, look, there's something I was reading. Since Danny Garcia, Paddy Pimblett over in the UFC, Ryan Garcia, obviously, since these men have been speaking up, dude, they're saying there's a spike in men reaching out for help. Mm-hmm. So that means this is helping, bro. Like, if it saves one life, it's doing its thing. So, by Adrian Broner, by Paddy over in the UFC, by Danny Garcia, they're seeing actual trajectories going up of men reaching out and getting help, which is we're the backbone of the world. I mean, we have to be there for our families. We got to be there, and as long as men keep taking their own lives because they're too afraid to speak up, then we're doing ourselves an injustice.
And like, I'm not foolish to the situation to where I look at these fighters and. These fighters, they have that mind frame of they're the best because they're winning. They get this attention so quick, right? When you on top. And Adrian Broner had this attention so quick. He rose as quick as you can rise in the sport of boxing. And like to have the downfall, to go through the trials and tribulation, yeah, that plays a part. When you come from nothing, you make it up here, then you go back down here. That plays a big part. And like I said, we got our condolences to Adrian Broner. We hope he get better. We salute him from the Spit Bucket Podcast, Mr. RTBA, JJ Solomon, for taking that real man.
Absolutely.
And stepping up and saying something about it.
Yeah, big deal. We're not going to get to see a fight this weekend. You know what I mean? Like, the dude's fighting. He's going through his own fight. It's a real fight. It's a lot more important than coming out and collecting a check. So, big shout out to Adrian Broner.
Yeah.
Get well soon. And I hope they I hope they're still able to have the card because, you hate to see people not get paid. But, again, at the end of the day, life is more important, man.
Yeah, life is more important. And, fighters around the world, they need to understand that. We seen Figueroa come out. Mm-hmm. He came out, he had some harsh words about Adrian Broner. And you can understand.
Understandably so.
Figueroa and his actions and why he had them harsh words for Adrian Broner because, like, people say, oh, Adrian Broner probably wasn't taking camp serious or Adrian Broner was doing this and doing that because we have seen Adrian Broner, if we're going to be honest. I'm not on her to downgrade anything Adrian Broner. I'm glad he did what he did. But we have seen him doing a lot of interviews. We have seen him saying he was going to do this and he was going to do that. And Figueroa got every right to come out and say something when you're a week away from the fight and the ball just get dropped on you like that. So, yeah,
it's a terrible situation for everybody, man. But I just think we should be careful than to get on here and just start criticizing because, like I said, there's kids watching. There's little kids watching. And if they see daddy talking trash about somebody else who having mental health issues, and they think daddy's gonna talk trash about them. So
You know what's so crazy about that? Like you said about Danny Garcia when he spoke about it and cried. You know, it had me damn near in tears, feeling
I
some
was
type
there
of
with
way
you, bro.
for Danny Garcia, right? Because you know you could really feel the passion and how hard that was, and it just all came out in that night. People felt him, but we was talking about this the other day when Ryan Garcia came out. Yeah, we know we see Ryan Garcia on YouTube. We know he's a good fighter. You know, potential to be great, but we know he's also a social media phenomenon.
Sure.
And we seen him come out and talk about his mental health issues. You've seen a lot of people make fun of it. Like, it just kills me, the certain fighters they go out and they want to make fun of because you see them acting a certain way. When you talk about mental health issue, you shouldn't criticize a guy like Ryan Garcia,
no, man.
Adrian Broner, or even leading into our next topic, Teofimo Lopez.
Mm-hmm. Teofimo Lopez.
He had some strong words, and he said he was going through his mental issues, and you know, his team surrounded him. He's in a better place now. But speaking of Teofimo Lopez, you know, me watching the fight at first, I was like, but then going back and watching it a second time, Teo put on an excellent performance. What's your thoughts on Teo, Jay?
I'm glad Teofimo's back. I think he's good for the sport. I think he's good.
Y'all say our volume low? Y'all can't hear us?
Volume too low. We need to get up on his mics too. So again, it's a day one in the studio. So if we're hurting, if something wrong, just let us know, please.
Al Money say I can't hear y'all. Y'all can't hear us on here? If y'all can hear us, put something up and say y'all can hear us. Like I said, we're trying to get everything back popping, going. They say they can't hear us.
Talk a little bit more.
Let me see. Hello, hello. I can hear myself on.
All right, we'll just get.
So anyway, if y'all can hear us, we need y'all to comment and say y'all can hear us if y'all can't hear us, real quick. Yeah. So Teofimo Lopez, get into that.
Yeah, man, I was excited to see him back. Like I said, my thoughts on anybody who's putting eyeballs on the sport is good for the sport, right? You know, there's arguments about whatever, the antics outside of the ring or the things they said. But I was excited to see him come back. He said a lot of things after the fight that a lot of people didn't like.
What did he say, Jay? What did he say?
Teofimo Lopez quickly went from me being excited about his future to me thinking the guy's completely.
What did he say?
What did he say specifically?
Yeah, what did he
he
say
said
bothered you?
the one that bothered me the most told me when he said he beat George Kambosos 11 rounds to 2. 11 rounds to 2 is 13 rounds for those of you. So, yeah, once you got beat silly to where you forgot how to do basic math, you can't be talking about. But anyhow, man, he came back, right? New division, feeling refreshed. Again, going back to that piece of it, I'm glad that he's doing better. You can see it in his preparation. You can see it in his interviews. Been very spiritual too. So to each their own. I'm glad he's doing better, but I feel like he needed to tap the brakes a little bit. I hope he got a nice humbling. But Saturday, man, against Compton, he did what he was supposed to do. If we're going to talk X's and O's now, let's talk X's and O's, man. I still saw a lot of vulnerabilities from Teofimo Lopez. I saw a lot to be concerned about.
Everybody's saying I sound low.
No. Oh, no, that's a fade. It's fine. All right, cool. Just stay on the mic, bro, because I'm getting text saying it's fine, and I'm getting.
Yeah, we can mix signals.
It's when we get off the mic.
Look, shout out to everybody here from the 214. Like I said, we're in this studio. First time in this studio. We figuring everything out. We're going to be doing at least 3 shows a week going forward. We want everybody to know that or more. Also, when the live fights are going to be going on, we will be in the building. We don't know if we're going to be in the building this upcoming fight. And we'll get to this fight later with Anthony Joshua and Usyk. But going forward after that, if it's a big fight, we're going to be live in the studio while the fight's on, talking our talk, and doing what we do.
And if you own an NFT, you get to watch it with us, too.
And it's hard for me, like I said. It's hard for me now after seeing the fight again to be too critical of Teofimo Lopez because everybody got to look at it. Like, look at it, everybody, from the 214 to across the pond. Teo took a devastating loss. Devastating. I'm talking about devastating. Did nobody put no money on on George Kambosos and say Kambosos was going to be Teo. Only people who did that was from Australia, the couple of them, because his whole country probably didn't believe in George Kambosos either until he did it. But he went through a tremendous loss.
Yeah.
Right? Then he seen Devin the Dream Haney, who is that guy right now, and we'll talk about him later, who is the guy right now, go and beat George Kambosos so easily. So people got to understand Teo mental, what he going through after getting beat like that, making all the I'm going to tell you what I didn't like about it. All the excuses.
Yeah.
Because this was the same guy who said after Deontay Wilder started making his excuses, stop acting like a B-I-T-C, shut your mouth. That was that same guy, right? But that's what I didn't like about what he did, but I am happy because Teo is good for the sport, let's be honest. We might not like some of the things he say, we might not like some of the things his daddy say, but that's what makes the sport so good because we're able to critique and talk about what they say and also see him put on a tremendous performance.
And we're seeing something in the sport that hasn't been done in a whole long time, man, since kind of Mayweather set that precedent, is these guys learning that it's okay to lose a fight. It's not the end of your career. It's not shutting down your Hall of Fame hopes and dreams. So Teofimo Lopez is going through a valuable experience, bro, because you have to get humbled. You all right over there? Mm-hmm. You have to get humbled sometimes in boxing. It happens, and to determine the real champion is how you can get off your ass and come back and can you get your straps back? Can you win those belts back? Can you look like your old self? I think Teofimo had some of that humble pie. I'm glad he's back. Let's talk X's and O's a little bit. I wasn't crazy about what I saw. Like, put him up against a Regis or Josh Taylor, who he's screaming for, and I think there's problems there, man. You know, obviously his preparation is going to be a little bit different than it was this last week. He's going to have more intense, but we didn't see. I just felt like somebody who was a little bit quicker, who was better with time, and could have really, really exposed Teofimo Lopez. Did Teofimo know that he didn't have much to worry about against Campa? Maybe, but.
Yeah, we can talk about the X's and O's, but like after the loss that he took against George Kambosos, I think he needed a fight like this to work his way back into the division. Now, when I look at Teo, it's easy to judge and say, oh, this guy's not ready for a Regis or Josh Taylor or what's the Mexican, Jose Ramirez or even Zepeda, but you know who Regis from the fight right now. It's easy to say that. And it's easy to forget about what Teo accomplished, right? Because this was a guy who went through Richard Coleman, former champion. He beat Nakatini. Then he beat one of the all-time greats who going to go down in Vasile Lomachenko. He took that one loss. And I like I say, in boxing, it's about wins and losses. I don't think one fight should define you. And I think a lot of people defining him off that one fight too much, and we forgetting about everything else Teo did to get there. So when I look at Teo X's and O's, absolutely, you know, it's some things he need to work on, but he was out the ring for 9 months, coming back from the mental situation he was going through. He even said he got divorced. I was like, man, that's the quickest divorce in history. Like, I could just remember just the other day ago, he was just saying, oh, he was married. They got like whoopty-whoop. I'm just saying, though, Jay.
Yeah, man. We'll see. I'm glad he looked good. He stopped him. He stopped Campa. I think Campa was putting in he was getting some momentum as the fight went, but I think Teofimo just, the skill set was just too much, And there, obviously, he was you know what I heard Tim Bradley say, though? He compared, never mind, I don't want to misquote him, and I don't want to start getting, I don't want to misquote him because I'm not 100% out what he said, but we'll disregard that.
But what was he saying, though, what was he saying, though?
He was really, really on some Teofimo Lopez juice, and he was comparing Campa to, who's the youngster coming up? They interviewed him after the fight. Anyhow, man, here, let me look it up.
I can't remember, but I remember Tim Bradley saying that he actually, when did that fight get ended, in the 7th or 8th round? I think it was like the 7th or 8th round. Tim Bradley said he had him in 6. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, yeah, it's easy to be critical. He took a loss, but that was a good bounce back fight for him. Now, we going to see what he's going to do in the future because I think he is a very accomplished 135 coming up to 140. So I'm not sleeping on T.O. I think T.O. showed me he's back.
Well, you saw, he's obviously chasing Taylor. That's what he wants is those belts. But, De La Hoya was there ringside. He said as soon as he left Fort Worth, Texas last week, I'm headed to Teofimo Lopez fight. What are your thoughts on seeing him up against Ryan Garcia, man? Does that do anything for you?
Yeah, it do. But the problem was like T.O. is still a little delusional, JJ.
Yes.
He is talking about all these guys got to see him. T.O., you was the same guy when you had the belt, like when Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia was trying to fight you or calling you out, which they was. You was shying away. Oh, them guys did nothing. They ain't did nothing. And then when he say he is the king, like Teofimo, no, you're not. Devin Haney is the king of 135. He beat the dude who slaughtered you, then he slaughtered him. So you're not the man. You're not the king. They don't have to see you, sir.
No, you're absolutely right, man. He has to let go of that. Here's where Teofimo Lopez went wrong, I think. And maybe he didn't go wrong. Any human would have done this. He beat Vasal Lomachenko. You saw what ESPN was doing with Vasal. I mean, the dude was on top of the world, can't be touched, the Matrix, you can't hit him, blah, 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 blah. And Teofimo Lopez went in and got the W against Lomachenko. Do you know what that did to Teofimo Lopez? Instant, in his head, I'm an instant Hall of Famer. I will never, ever lose. Nobody can touch me. And then one fight later, it all came crashing down. One fight later. So, yeah, if you already have mental health issues, you add that to the mix, and then you go see Devin Haney completely mop the floor with Kambosos in Kambosos' own backyard. Dude, there was a reason Devin Haney was jumping for joy, and his whole family was jumping for joy when Kambosos got that decision over Teofimo Lopez. They knew what was in front of them. They were excited to go get the belts. They got the belts. Are you worried on a rematch, Haney and Kambosos? I mean, is there anything there that made you think that Haney might lose his?
No, absolutely not. That was pure domination. But this is the one thing I don't like about T.O. You know I'm a big Rolly guy. You know Rolly, my God.
Well, you like his mouth. It's like liking
Romero.
wrestlers. It's like liking WWE.
I like Rolly Romero, and I like his coach Bullet. But they talking about what is Devin Haney doing? Fighting Kambosos again. Well, did y'all scroll up y'all articles and see it was a 2-fight deal?
Yeah, man. Why is everybody forgetting about
Like
that?
they forget that it was a 2-fight deal, JJ, and then he had to go back to Australia and fight him again. And then they just like, him and Rolly tight, right? Him and Rolly, T.O. and Rolly tight. So it's like they trying to throw it, and I don't appreciate that coming from the Rolly camp, and I like them. But if I ever had a chance to ask Coach Bullet or ask Rolly Romero, I asked him, why y'all throwing salt on Devin Haney? He did what your mans couldn't do, and he looked better doing it.
I agree. But, bro, Rolly. Rolly is only relevant because he likes to poke the bear. He likes to say the outlandish things. He likes to wear his coats, and he likes just to start controversy. So that's the way Rolly's getting his next fight is by talking about other dudes and what's he doing and what's he doing and what's he doing. That's how Rolly's going to get his next fight.
Oh, JJ, you was a master. Cause I'm glad you said that. Because like you said, what you say that again about Rolly? He had to do what?
I said Rolly is every time he opens his mouth, he's trying to get himself his next fight. And I don't even know that Rolly thinks he's going. Maybe he thinks he's going to win these fights, but he knows he's getting paid.
He know how to market.
Oh yeah,
himself.
man.
He showed at a young age that he's a master market, and that want to take me into our next topic.
Before we go, because we're still on the T.O. thing, and I forgot to talk about this.
Okay.
Let's talk a little bit about this guy, bro. T.O. Sr. He did something to really bother me. I don't know if you caught this. So there you see a picture of Teofimo Lopez and Junior and Senior We got a cool picture of him fighting in a fight. But this part right here, wait for it, where Teofimo Lopez, we're getting announced the winner. You see this? Did you see this? And Senior looked right over at the camera and walked right in front of the camera shot and just starts cheering and taking all his son's glory. Teo's back there praising God, and Teo Senior just jumps in, eye contact with the camera, walks in front of his son, and starts screaming, I told everybody. Dude, I'm fed up with Teofimo Senior. And he's part of the reason his son's probably so damn delusional. Because you listen to your daddy, right? I mean,
like, he do, but you got to understand, like, this is how I look at it, JJ, right here. And I agree with what you're saying, that he is delusional. But I look at it like this. He built his son up to what he is. Like, as a daddy, if your son take a loss, ain't it going to hit you harder? So I feel like it hit Teofimo Sr. harder. And to see his son bounce back and do that, he felt like that was him. But I do agree with you.
Bro,
on that part.
Bro, it's just too much, man. And yeah, you can be proud for you, happy for your son, bro, but don't steal his thunder. Don't jump in front of the camera when that's his moment. You know, that's what you dream of, to get your arm raised by the ref as you're coming back. That's what he dreamed of. And I had issue with it. I think the dude's
he just like the rest of the daddies, son trainers who overbearing. You know, boy, you think Bill Haney was something before Devin became undisputed.
Oh, yeah.
Wait till the next time we see the press conferences and Bill Haney talking about his son and Devin Haney. Wait till we see that next press conference.
Bro.
They mad, man.
You absolutely right. What else we got on
here?
But
speaking of that with Rolly, what you said about Rolly again, JJ?
I said Rolly opens his mouth just looking for his next fight.
No, you told me he know how to market.
Well, yeah, he knows how to market himself.
Great, JJ, ain't he great at that, JJ?
I mean, yeah, you've got Rolly who's great at marketing himself, but is he worth too much conversation?
No, it ain't. No, because you got to look at it. Whether you look at it as the underbelt or something, in 15 fights he did become a WBA regular champion. Like, I mean, that's facts.
It's facts. You're 100% right.
But he markets himself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And boy, you was a genius again. Boy, that's just like Magic Johnson throwing Kareem or James Worthy the alley hoop, and they just pounded it down.
No, that's an easy one.
No, because it leads into my next discussion.
What you got?
Of marketing yourself. You know, we were scrolling up our articles. I know everybody was from the 214 across the pond, and the news came out. It hit everybody real hard in a snap of a second. Terence Crawford reportedly, Jose Jr., reportedly, 3 fights, 14 million. Now, I want to ask you, JJ Solomon, do you have a problem with the 3-fight, $14 million deal that Terence Crawford was offered? Reportedly.
Sure.
By PBC?
I also saw Steven Espinoza tweet that these rumors are ridiculous. But
look, though, you know, we heard no other rumors of Crawford, and he's like one of the top fighters. He is the number 1 pound for pound. We heard when rumors circulate, it's some truth that comes to them rumors. And of course, Steven Espinoza gonna jump out of, whatever he doing, and that's false, because it spread it like a wildfire. But that's what we're hearing. When stuff come out like this, 99.9% of the time, because we ain't heard no other offers from Terence Crawford. 3 fights, 14 million. The rumors allegedly. Is that a bad deal for Terence Crawford to take?
If I'm the number 1 pound for pound fighter in the world, I would say it's a bad deal. All right, let me tell you. From Bud's perspective, it's a bad deal. Bud doesn't realize the problem in boxing right now, and his pay-per-view sales. And Bud and Spence also don't realize that not a lot of people who don't watch boxing know who they are. This isn't Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather. So if we're talking about splitting $30 million, which I don't think Showtime's going to see, then yeah, that's a terrible deal. But Bud and Spence both need to get through their heads.
Hold up.
There's not
Hold
gonna.
up. So you saying
I'm
offering Terence Crawford 3 fights?
What's that? $3.5 million?
No, that's like for we did the math.
That's
There's like 4.6 million.
4.6 million
That's like
fight.
4.6 million per fight. Jose Jr.
How much guys get to fight Spence, bro?
Look. I'm asking you again. So you think that is a bad deal?
Listen, we talking. You got to look at what the rest of the industry is doing, bro. Like, now, Bud, we saw it in person. What everybody says.
What did we
I'm gonna get this
see?
camera on there.
What did we see?
We saw Terence Crawford completely just doesn't give a damn about talking to the media, updating the media. You know, and I understand, man, if that's not your personality, if that's not who you are to be out in front of the cameras and stuff, all right, I get it. You kind of have to make it happen. When Terence Crawford was in town for 2 weeks, 2 weekends, right?
Hold up. Two whole weeks, JJ.
Yeah.
Not just a week. He was here for 2 whole weeks.
2 whole weeks in enemy territory. And we didn't hear a peep from him, dude. You would have thought that social media was blowing up and interviews and showing up in nightlife. And I'm not attacking Terence Crawford for not partying or nothing, but talk. Make your face recognizable. Come hang out down here in downtown Dallas. Do something, man, where people know who you are and sell the fight. You don't have to talk shit. You don't have to. Just let people know who Terence Crawford is, because there's a lot of people who still don't know who Terence Crawford is. The only people who know who Terence Crawford is are people who know Errol Spence Jr. is, or if you live in Omaha, Nebraska. But to answer your question, man, it's a bad deal considering this is the fight of the past 25 years. It's been a quarter century since we've had a fight of this significant. Now, you're right, the names aren't as big as De La Hoya Trinidad. The name is not as big as Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather. But it's still the biggest fight in boxing, not just this year, not just last year. It's undisputed, undefeated. It's been brewing for 5 years now. Mm-hmm. And you mean to tell me you want Terence Crawford in today's inflated ass economy where $1 million isn't what $1 million was just 2-3 years ago? You mean to tell me you want Crawford just to slap on a smile with a 3-fight, $14 million deal, dude?
Put the camera on me.
Uh-oh. You done woke that man up. Go for it. You're live in its center.
So you stated, Jose Jr., that this is a bad deal. 3 fights, $14 million for the number one. The number one pound for pound fighter on the planet. You said it's a bad deal, right? But you also just stated he was down here for 2 whole weeks. I ain't talking about for just a weekend. He was down here for 2 whole weeks and did absolutely nothing. Not a thing. He told everybody after Wednesday he's doing no more interviews. My main point. You had a guy, Manny Pacquiao, right? When he came over to the PBC, right? Mm-hmm. Manny Pacquiao was finna fight Earl the True Spence Jr. for $10 million.
Yeah.
Hold up. What's the difference, Jose Jr., from Manny Pacquiao and Terence Crawford?
There's a hell of a lot of difference in Manny Pacquiao.
What's the difference?
International fame, or what do you mean?
They both can fight their ass off. But Manny Pacquiao is a global
He's an icon, sensation,
superstar. And he was finna fight Earl Spence for $10 million. And people, not just you, but a lot of people from the 214 to across the pond who are foolish when they say the 3 fights, $14 million is a bad deal for this guy. For him?
I see 100% what you're saying, Corey. I get that one. That's why I said, I mean, it's Manny Pacquiao. That was my next question is I don't have an answer to this question, but what I do know is, say Bud were to lock in this reported 3-fight deal, right? And he goes, and let's just say, I don't think this will happen. I give Bud the slight edge on that fight. But let's say he goes and knocks out Errol Spence.
We got a picture of them?
Spence, no, we don't have a picture, yeah. Let's say he goes and knocks out Errol Spence in 4 or 5 rounds. He done let Spence get started at all. He's dominating every round. So you mean to tell me now the undefeated, now number one pound for pound, now 2-time undisputed champ. You mean to tell me it's okay for him to have a rematch with Errol Spence, because you know the world's going to want to see it, a rematch with Errol Spence, or even if it's just a tune-up, after going and dethroning the champ. Let's say he does it in spectacular fashion, right? Nothing debatable about it. He's just a better fighter than Spence. You mean to tell me that a second fight and a third fight with that same $14 million contract is saying this is what I'm worth?
Yes.
After being undisputed two times?
Yes.
No,
and let me tell you why. This is the thing right here. When we speak about Terence Crawford, he ain't that guy. In the ring, he's that guy. But on the outside of the ring, he's boring as you shut your mouth. You understand? He's boring. Then mother, shut your mouth. Do you understand me? Outside of the ring, he is that. And for you to not understand, in business, Jose Jr., in business, it's going to always be an A side. It's going to always be a B side. And you know what? The B side is going to always moan, groan, cry me a river, Justin Timberlake. They're going to always do that because they are the B side. Look, JJ, Terence Crawford must understand. Just like, guess what? Devin Haney had to understand. What, we ain't finna cry me a river for Devin Haney? He understood his position.
Terence Crawford's the number one pound-per-pound fighter in the world. Haney was on, a lot of people weren't even on it.
JJ, he's not only the number one pound-for-pound fighter in the world, he done been unified in 135, undisputed in 140, the WBO in 147, and it means absolutely nothing when it comes to popularity.
To markability, man, you're right. But I think it's this. All right, so in the same terms, why haven't we heard, is there a 3-fight deal for Spence? What if Spence loses to Bud and he get, you know what, bro?
Terence ain't in no control. Like, he got to, I'm like this now. I'm with this. Earl Spence need to move on. He need to move Terence Crawford. Who would Terence Crawford think he is? Him and his ego. We seen him down here, the way he act. What is he doing to show us, me and you, connoisseurs of the sport, that he want this fight? If he don't want to understand, he ain't in no type of position. JJ.
You said something earlier. He's not even, you said the B side will always bitch and moan and cry and complain, right? Mm-hmm. He's not even doing that. If he was doing that, no, I mean, he's not doing enough of it. I'm saying he should be doing more of whatever he needs to do to promise Showtime, look, I'm obviously getting eyeballs to me. People are obviously talking about me. So even if that means coming out and being more vocal about his unsatisfaction about the negotiations thus far, he hasn't even done that. So my issue with Terence Crawford is, obviously not his inside the ring. It's he has to market himself more because he's worth way more than 3 fights for $14 million.
He's not.
Yeah, bro, he's
not. At this point, he's not. He ain't even want to give you no interview.
Hey, listen to this. Who's the highest valued NFL franchise in the league? Who is it?
Cowboys.
All right. The Cowboys kind of been, let's call it the past 15 years, just been kind of average, right?
26 years.
Yeah, all right, let's call it average for 26 years.
Yeah.
All right. You know how they'll bump into Cowboys on a flex spot? If the Cleveland Browns are making a playoff run and they're 12 and 2 and they're making a playoff run and the Cowboys are 6 and 10 or whatever the hell, they're going to bump the Cowboys off, even though they're worth more. For that little moment in time, the Cleveland Browns are to be dealt with. And I'm just throwing out names here right now, bro, because Terence Crawford, yeah, he doesn't have the marketability, but if you're looking at him, as a promoter, you have to see what he's going to put in the ring, dude. Like,
what is he doing? What is he bringing?
He's knocking dudes out, bro. Like,
man, he ain't fought number one time in Omaha I could think of. One time. How big is he? He don't even fight in his home country, and he's the only thing they got. Nebraska Cornhuskers suck. I'm being honest. What's else popping in Nebraska than Terence Crawford? And his own city, state of the whole Nebraska don't even back him. So what is he talking about? People talking about 3 fights, $14 million. That's average 4.6. Remember, JJ, Remember, let me remind you, Bob Arum said this about Terence Crawford. I lost so much money on Terence Crawford, I could have bought several houses in the Beverly Hills.
Now, yeah, you're right, bro. You're right. Here's my issue, dog, and I don't know how to even state it without. I see the problems with Terence Crawford. I see he doesn't sell himself well. I think he's worth more than that. But the problem isn't that Showtime's just saying, or if these rumors are true, Showtime's not just saying you're way less popular than Errol Spence Jr., so we're going to offer you the three-fight deal. Showtime is saying you guys collectively are not giving us a lot to work with here.
They ain't saying collectively.
They are, bro, because that's where the problem is. If they
saying,
knew that Spence and Crawford was going to bring in $30 million, bro, they would that fight would have been done, dude. It would have been done at fucking 18 and 13.
Stop making this about a collectively thing.
It is the problem,
They offered Terence Crawford 3 fights, $14 million. That's on him. That ain't got nothing to do with Errol Spence. Errol Spence is the big... Think about Errol Spence. He got the whole Texas behind him. He got something behind him. He got something behind him down here, JJ. It's a difference. When I think of Omaha, I don't think of nothing but Terence Crawford. And I don't see nothing.
Errol Spence sells more pay-per-views because he's from Dallas, Texas. Not because he's flashy, not because he's always in front of the camera. If Errol Spence and Terence Bud Crawford flip-flopped houses, everybody in DFW would love Terence Crawford. He would have 4 times the viewership because he's from Dallas, and Errol Spence would have 25% of the viewership than Bud Crawford is. There's nothing Spence does outside of the ring that just says, I want to watch this guy. If anything, he's flipping cars and shit like that. That's not what you want to watch.
Hey, JJ, if was a filth.
Oh, you're right, bro.
If was a filth, we all be drunk. Earl is from Dallas, Texas. Terence Crawford is from Nebraska. And not only that, it don't even matter where you from, bro.
That's why Errol Spence
He has
sells
no
more
person. He got no personality, Jay.
You act like Spence is just this fun-loving dude who loves. Spence don't like the media members. Spence don't like.
Bro, Spence,
he's in a ranch with horses, and he secluded himself from everybody, bro.
He in a ranch. Okay, but look.
And there's nothing wrong with that. But you make it sound like he's fucking Blair the Flair or something, bro.
He's bigger than that. And look, this is the thing right here. People want to cry me a river for Terence Crawford. This dude was on the biggest sports network for 5 to 6 plus years in ESPN. That's his fault that he didn't capitalize on going Max on boxing or going on Stephen A. Smith or doing all the other stuff. He had all access to that, JJ. So don't sit up here and cry for a guy who even for 5 or 6 years been on the #1 sports network, did nothing to solidify himself. Errol Spence, Fox Sports. We don't think about no Fox Sports when it comes to boxing. Come on, man. We don't think ESPN. Terence Crawford, 6 years.
I agree, Corey. I think that we're missing the point here. You're playing a popularity contest. The people who are cutting out the check for that fight are worried that these two guys collectively can't sell it. They're not saying, bro, Spence is the big money man, and we're going to give Bud just a little bit of money. They are worried that this fight won't generate pay-per-view buys. We got illegal streaming. We got all that shit, and we got most of the country don't know who either. If you know Spence, you know Crawford. If you know Crawford, you know Spence. That's where it ends, bro. We've seen it out. Have you ever met somebody who knew Errol Spence Jr. but didn't know who Bud Crawford was?
Yes. We went in Florida and did it.
Oh, we have video. Go look at it.
It was people who know who Errol Spence was, and it wasn't a soul who knew it was more people who knew Errol Spence than it was Terence Crawford.
Maybe one.
It wasn't nobody who knew Terence Crawford.
No, go back and watch the video. We'll pull it up, bro.
Was it anybody?
No, but
I'm saying, was it anybody?
The people who knew who Errol was.
But y'all trying to downgrade Earl for being more popular and say, oh, he's not. And you trying to
I'm
say,
not trying to
no,
downgrade
hold
it,
up.
bro.
And then you trying to say, oh, because he got this. Earl takes advantage.
He did.
So
He has.
don't sit up, Earl, and try to make that Earl fault. Earl takes advantage of everything from starting at the bomb factory to graduating to the Star to graduating to Jerry's World to doing what he needs to do to put himself in that position. We don't talk about how Terence Bud Crawford was on the machine and he didn't do what he had to do. Earl did that. So don't cry me a river because this dude didn't take advantage and now he in last place. So that's why I say, Earl, move on. Terence Crawford's ego is getting the best of him right now. And Earl needs to go and move on. If Terence Crawford don't understand, he has to bow down.
I'm not about. Listen, dog, and I want everybody watching right now to understand that I'm not sitting here saying that Bud better be getting paid something close to Spence. I'm not saying that, bro. Spence is obviously the bigger name. Spence obviously sells more tickets. Spence obviously has a bigger following. You can blame it on the fact that he's from Dallas or not. That's black and white. Spence has a bigger following. That's, you can blame it on whatever the hell you want, but that's the facts.
So what's
what I say the problem is I don't think that Showtime is confident in their ability to sell the fight. That's what it is. There's not enough money to hand out where everybody's going to be happy. Why isn't there enough money? Because that fight, as big as that is for us,
no, it's not.
People are going to be more excited to watch Canelo Triple G a third time,
okay,
bro. Nobody's worried about that damn fight.
You say Earl has the bigger following. More people know who he is.
I'm consenting. I agree with that.
I know, so we can't downgrade Earl just because Crawford ain't like that. Earl is the super A-side. Agree or disagree?
60-40 split.
I mean, he's a super A-side. Look, and I'm not being funny. Just by seeing Terence Crawford Wednesday through Saturday, like I know Earl was playing when he's saying 80, 20, 70, 30. But, bro, it may seem like that in real life. Terence Crawford has no marketability. JJ, he is the number one pound-for-pound fighter, but so what? Mm-hmm. When he done did that in 3 divisions and still has no marketability, what do that mean? What do his accomplishments mean? When the masses don't know, because if you a fighter with all them accomplishments, the masses is going to know who you is. He ain't put himself out there like that, and his ego is getting the best of him. I mean,
we saw it, bro. We saw him tweeting out in Dallas or in Fort Worth. This is the second time somebody pulled him aside, confusing him for who was it? James, whoever? Did you see?
James something. Yeah, I see that.
2 times. The number one pound-for-pound fighter at a boxing event where everybody should know who you are, didn't recognize him. So, I get what you're saying, but I don't put it all on. But that's what we did for here. I feel like this fight hasn't happened because Showtime is afraid that the fight won't sell.
But why wouldn't it sell, Jay? Because if the diehard boxing, it's a lot of diehard boxing fans.
It's a lot of broke diehard boxing fans too that know where they can stream it from too.
But it's a lot of this fight is gonna generate come on.
I hope so, man. And that's where these guys, if you're watching and you want these fights to happen, just buy the damn fight. Everybody wins when we buy fights.
Well, we know we're gonna have a lot of that to talk about going forward. Let's get into it.
What else you had, man?
Just a little quick hit. What you think about Tyson Fury retiring?
Do you
think it's real or just?
I think it's real now. I think Suleiman and Mauricio and him are tight. He's super tight with the WBC. They made him that pretty union belt. And I think by Mauricio coming out today and saying, was it today or yesterday? It was today. Mauricio came out saying we spoke. He's officially retiring. I think it's happening. And again, we've talked about this before. Once you start flirting with the idea of retirement, you're putting yourself in danger. You're putting yourself in danger getting into that ring against somebody who wants what you have. So they're already prepping. Then you're up here, bro. If you're already ready for retirement and you're planning that selling into the sunset, you're putting yourself in a huge disadvantage because part of you's quit already. And you're going to go fight somebody who wants to rip your head off. That guy hasn't quit yet. That guy's not thinking about retirement. That guy's thinking about licking his chop and taking what you got. So I think it's good for Fury. I think Fury's dealing with a lot of outside-the-ring issues, too, that a lot of people aren't talking about in terms of his involvement.
I think he already dealt with that, and I think he's in a better place now. But
no, I'm talking about the the whole mob interview, the mob discussions, which I don't have facts, so I'm not gonna talk on it.
Oh, okay, yeah. But this the one guy when I say retirement and Tyson Fury. I don't believe it until I see it. I don't think Tyson Fury is a retired fighter. You know, I just think he didn't want to pay them sanctioning fees because just think if Anthony Joshua beats Alexander Usyk.
It's leading us right to the next picture.
Anthony Joshua. Let's get on that. Beats. I just want to talk about Tyson Fury real quick. Anthony Joshua beat Alexander Usyk. Then you know that fight gonna do massives over there across the pond. But let's get into it. Alexander Usyk, Anthony Joshua. But that first fight was just a one-sided show, right?
I bet we see it again. I just feel, in my head, listen, remember a few years ago, bro, or not a few years ago, but when we started to see that decline in Anthony Joshua, right? Robert Garcia himself, which is important, we make mention that Robert Garcia is his trainer now, which is another weird thing. I thought that was weird. But Robert Garcia himself said that's something you can't fix, is being afraid to get knocked out. That audio sound better? I feel you hear me? Robert Garcia said you can't fix being scared to get hit. You can't fix being scared to get knocked out. And I don't mean scared in the old school way where you're scared. I mean psychologically, when you feel contact on your chin, your nerves shut down and you hit the ground. Ask Roy Jones. We never saw Roy Jones the same after Tarver. His reflexes just disappeared. But I think it's strange. Hold on, let me move this real quick. That Robert Garcia said that, and now Robert Garcia is training him against, arguably, there's a lot of people who have Usyk on their pound-for-pound list. I know some people don't like putting heavyweights on pound-for-pound lists, but Usyk was a pound-for-pound champ. He was on the list before he ever moved up to heavyweight by being undisputed at cruiserweight. So he came up and did what he did to Anthony Joshua. After Anthony Joshua had already been embarrassed by Andy Ruiz, he got that W back. But is Anthony Joshua all the way there up here? Is he ready for that war? Usyk literally just got back from war. Boxing is easy now. He's seeing people die. He's fought for his family. He's fought for his own life. Is AJ going to be mentally ready for that war against Usyk, a man who already knows he can beat you? You know what I mean?
I don't know if it's going to be the same again. I give Anthony Joshua a big shot at winning this fight. And you brought my point up. Anthony Joshua done been there, done that.
Rematches you talking about?
Yeah,
he
understands how it is to come back from a loss. He understands that. It ain't like Anthony Joshua, a fighter who going into this fight taking his first loss and don't know how to come back from that loss. He showed us that he could come back after a bad loss, and let's not get it twisted. That loss versus Ruiz was a way worse loss than this loss to Alexander Usyk. And what Anthony Joshua showed us, he showed us that he have the brain to actually go back and listen, work on things, get better, come back in, and he showed us that he could jump over that hurdle, and he beat Andy Ruiz and became the heavyweight champion again. Do I got Alexander Usyk the favorite? Absolutely.
Yeah.
After seeing that fight, absolutely. But am I counting Anthony Joshua all the way out? Hell no.
No, hell you can't.
Hell no. No, I'm giving him a great shot at winning this fight because even though he lost bad, but he know how to lose and know how to go back, figure out, put WD-40 on the crinks, and come back and win. He's a proven guy. So I give him a fair shot.
How much would you say that Anthony Joshua rematch with Ruiz, though, was that more about Joshua making the adjustments or Andy Ruiz being a brand new champion, representing the country, and just living the life of a real celebrity now, coming into that rematch? We all know that Ruiz was not prepared for that fight.
I don't know. We can say that about a lot of guys.
Yeah, we can.
We can say that about a lot of guys.
What I'm saying is the rematch that AJ's looking at right now is not the same rematch he was looking at with Andy Ruiz.
I don't know because how we know Usyk ain't smelling his shit now? Because Usyk ain't never had the type of attention that he's getting now. What have Usyk been doing? Is he doing that same Andy Ruiz stuff? Yeah, we're not going to be able to see it on camera. And I know they say he was over there fighting, but I don't think Usyk was really the first man.
It's a lot harder to get your hands on a Snickers bar when you fight in war, bro.
Yeah, so
a lot harder.
I know, but what I'm saying, we don't know if he was really. I heard stories that Usyk wasn't out there on the front line because I think Usyk has kids, but he was over there in his country. I think it's something about the Ukraine. I ain't too for sure on that. But how we know he ain't smelling his shit? Usyk ain't never had this type of attention. I heard Usyk getting paid $40 million this fight. I heard Anthony Joshua getting paid $60 million this fight. So what have Usyk been doing? Have Usyk been enjoying the fruits of his labor? Because
or is he distracted too with war?
Nah,
I mean, because that could be distracting too, bro. Like, you don't have to be enjoying the fruits of labor. He could have.
Yeah, that could be a part too. But also, Anthony Joshua could be the reason that Usyk feel that way by him coming back in and winning the fight, because Usyk had more than enough time to prepare. Anthony Joshua had more than enough time to prepare. These guys making a lot of money. Is Usyk still that same guy? He's still hungry. I know Anthony Joshua done showed me before, but I favor Usyk just how clear-cut he was.
Yeah.
But I give Anthony Joshua a first shot.
Anthony Joshua can box, bro. I don't know. You know, when you're looking at this, you got to say, what are they going to do different? He bringing in a whole new training camp, Corey. A whole new training camp to fight for the heavyweight championship of the world. Like, that's dangerous in itself. Brand new regimen, brand new routine, brand new instruction in your ear, brand new everything. And then you have to go and fight the heavyweight champion of the world that already has your number convincingly. I think it's scary, bro. I don't know if you want to jump into it, if you had any more, but since we're talking about heavyweights, you want to talk about the Bronze Bomber and Hellenius and what's or you still have some more AJ stuff?
No, I don't got no more AJ stuff. We can get on that real quick. But my thing, I want to talk about Deontay Wilder, the WBC, rating him as the number one fighter in the WBC to compete for that heavyweight championship next.
Yeah, man. So ideally, what should happen is Fury should retire, the belt should go away, Wilder's ranked number one. Wilder has a clear-cut path to become champ again if he can do what he's supposed to do against Hellenius.
He's still the same, though.
Bro, that's a whole nother conversation. We got Hellenius, his homeboy, right here on this photo. Bro, what happens for Wilder comes out and takes a shot against Hellenius? Obviously, we know what Wilder has to offer, right? Not the greatest techniques, not the greatest skill sets, but at any given moment, the fight could end. That's what Deontay Wilder brings to the table. And in a sense, that's kind of what Hellenius brings to the table. I haven't seen too much of him, but I've seen enough to know that it's a dangerous fight for Deontay Wilder, especially if Deontay Wilder is not all there upstairs, ready for the grind that is preparing for a heavyweight championship fight against a legitimate fighter.
But I think he is, though, because Deontay Wilder showed a lot of grit and determination in that last Fury fight. Because I'm going to be honest, I thought Fury was going to go wipe the floor with him, and Deontay Wilder had his moments in that fight where you could see Deontay Wilder really came there to win, because after all the excuses he made, we didn't know what Deontay Wilder mental was going in, because he was going in this fight thinking his coach put something in his water, thinking the whole world was against him, and he came in there and put on an ample fight against Tyson Fury. Did he come up short? Absolutely. Tyson Fury, one of the all-time great heavyweights, but that ain't nothing to hold your head down for. He has a guy in Vladimir Klitschko on his resume who he beat. So Deontay Wilder, that ain't nothing to hold your head. But Deontay Wilder showed me he had that in him, that dog. I thought he was gonna come into this fight and it was gonna be over with quick.
With the last Tyson Fury.
But he showed me that he really came in there determined. And he caught Fury with some big shots.
He did. If that Deontay Wilder is here, if that's who we see on October 15th, then Deontay Wilder's going to get himself a belt back. But if Wilder comes in with that, you talked about this before, part of defeat, part of processing that is accepting the defeat.
Yep.
Teofimo Lopez never did it. Deontay Wilder never accepted the defeat. Whether it's excuses, whether it's all this, he never truly accepted defeat, which If you can't accept it, then how do you grow from it? So if Wilder's still in his head something about Fury, instead of just accepting that he lost and coming back, go to the drawing board and bust his ass like like you said, he put up a valiant effort all 3 times against Tyson Fury. It was just too little, you know. It wasn't good enough. Helenius can hurt you. Helenius is a better boxer than Wilder.
He's been hungry, too.
He's hungry, bro. You imagine having a name like Deontay Wilder on your resume if you're Helenius.
And Deontay Wilder been eating steaks while he been eating chicken wings. Let's be honest.
Bro.
Deontay Wilder been living a life, and Helenius is trying to get that life.
Exactly,
so
dude.
he been still putting in the hard work. But that's Deontay Wilder, though. I favor him.
You favor Wilder then?
Yeah, I favor Wilder going into that fight, absolutely.
You have to. You kind of should. Man, but I would not be surprised one bit.
Oh, no.
Like one, obviously it's a heavyweight fight and it could change in the blink of an eye.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised to see Helenius actually win. I wouldn't be surprised because what you said earlier, the mental part of it, the mindset. Listen, we talk about this a lot. Deontay Wilder, why did he get into boxing?
To help take care of his daughter.
He's taking care of his baby girl, right?
And that's done.
It's done. It's done. So if that's your number one motivation, and that's what woke your ass up in the morning, that's what made it okay to diet and eat right and not see your family, his family's set.
Boy, they made a lot.
Lots of money, bro. So if that was your drive and now that's not necessarily your drive no more, that's what scares me about this fight for Deontay Wilder. We know he's got the power to end it quickly. But I want to see, and no knock on Helenius.
Deontay Wilder good for boxing.
He is, bro. I want to see. Again, I've been extra critical on what Wilder, his skill set.
But we got the right to be critical, just like we got the right to give them their credit when they're doing something great.
For sure. Deontay Wilder is what he is. Yeah. A huge hitter. Okay, in the night, and you got to respect it. The dude made tens of millions of dollars. Maybe, I don't know how much total he made in the Fury trilogy, but he's set for life. And kudos to him. That's what it's all about. Mm-hmm. But man, he's coming back for more.
I'm happy.
I want to see him do well. I want to see him get that confidence back because his confidence has been shot, bro. Even when he was fighting Fury, you can see that he didn't believe in himself. He says all the right words.
Can I say something real quick? Because we got about 16 minutes left on our show, but I want to say something real quick. I know this finna set it on fire. And you finna look at me like I'm crazy, like I got... like you finna look at me crazy.
I want everybody to hear
JJ, listen to me. I don't know why I've been pondering this thought that I think Triple G gonna beat Canelo, JJ. I think Triple G gonna beat Canelo, JJ. I'm telling you, after seeing the way Canelo got, he really got beat up that last fight. Was Canelo a man? I'm a man. I'm 40. Big ball kahunas. Absolutely. He showed that in the fight. But JJ, that was Canelo been doing this for a while. You got to understand, like you say, Triple G, he really won that first fight.
He did, bro.
Fact or fiction?
Fact and obviously it's not a fact, but yes, fact.
Then Canelo won the next fight. He won. That was clear cut. Mm-hmm. Then Canelo just played him alone for years. Then it ain't like Canelo coming off a win. Canelo coming off a 12-round beating. He got beat up that fight. And then I seen some sparring footage of Canelo, seeing him get beat up again. I'm just thinking myself, this Triple G moment. I do favor Canelo to win, but I don't know why I've been going through my brain that Triple G gonna win this fight.
I think because Triple G, bro, it is easy to like him a lot. It's easy to like Triple G.
No, it ain't
you feel like he deserves that win because he won that first fight.
No, I just feel like Canelo is the right pickings for him after fighting that damn near 200-plus pound man, then making a quick turnaround in 3 or 4 months. Hold up, May, June, July, August, September. 4 months to fight Mexican Independence Day in September?
Here's the thing. So going into the first fight, bro, I bet a lot of money on Triple G.
Yeah.
Straight up, Triple G gonna win this fight.
Yeah.
So if we're looking straight up, prime Triple G, prime Canelo, no distractions, age is not a factor, nothing like that. I give Triple G the edge, right? And obviously he showed us. Mm-hmm. But then you got to talk about age now. All right, Triple G's 40. Canelo's in the peak of his career in terms of conditioning and all that. I think he's got conditioning issues, but this is his peak. Then Triple G moving up in weight for the first time. Triple G at 168. My bad, bro. My mic's tripping.
You good?
Triple G moving up to 168. Canelo's been there for a long time. He's won belts. He's won all the belts. He's beat big boys. Canelo's been all the way up to, a shot Kovalev. And, he took an ass whooping from Bivol. But this is Triple G's first time moving up, bro. Is the conditioning going to be there to press Canelo for 12? Because Triple G has to fight the perfect fight. Triple G's got better footwork than Canelo. He got a granite chin, obviously.
He been the Marvin Hagler of our era. He made 160 forever.
Yeah.
Think about his body having a relief, Jose Jr., going up to 168, not having to cut that extra weight. You know the people around him going to give him the best nutriments ever for this fight. Because, look, this is the fight that Triple G, if he win this fight, he going to ride off on the white horse. This is his moment.
Yep.
I got Triple G. Forget me. I got Triple G winning this fight. Look, I done been wrong. I'm just going off my feeling.
Y'all heard it here first.
I got Triple G.
You going by feeling?
I got Triple G.
I can see that, bro, because he gives you those warm and fuzzies.
No, I think he got I think Canelo is at the right picking for him right now. And the way Canelo played Triple G, like, for them years, instead of giving him a third, I just think Triple G I think he got that last one good training camp in him, Jay. I truly do. And I think with Canelo coming off that last loss, I think Triple G, I see one of them. You know how he be throwing them club motherfuckers? I think he gonna catch Canelo with one. I got Triple G.
It could happen, bro. Here's how I think it could happen. All right. If Canelo comes out angry, still feeling disrespected, Canelo emotional as hell about Triple G. For some reason, that dude gets under his skin. If Canelo comes out trying to knock Triple G's head off.
You know why, though, right? What they call Triple G, Mexican what?
Oh, big drama show, Mexican style? Mexican style, yeah. Canelo hates that. Yeah, I bet, bro. It has to be it. But, and then obviously all the stuff we talk about the computer, but if Canelo comes out trying to knock Triple G's head off, at every shot's a swing and a miss, you know Canelo's got conditioning issues. Yep. If Triple G just takes what he has, if Canelo gets undisciplined in this fight, Canelo could very easily lose. Because like you said, this is Triple G's moment. Mm-hmm. This is his riding out into the sunset, getting that W that they took from him so unfairly. Because the world knows Triple G won that first fight. And this ain't trying to be no Canelo hating session. We just call it like we see it here at the Spit Bucket Podcast. And Canelo lost that first fight.
He won the second one.
Yeah, he won the second one. And he took an ass beating against Bivol.
No, I think
it could happen, bro. I hate that you only gave us 15 minutes to jump into Canelo.
I know, but see, like but you know, that's what we got shown. Yeah. Canelo and Triple G, they right around the corner. We might be in Las Vegas. We might not be in Las Vegas, but even if we ain't in Las Vegas, we're going to be right here in the studio talking through the fight. But yeah, you know we're going to talk a lot of Canelo and Triple G coming up because you know they finna start.
Brace yourself.
Like, because it's 1 month away, ain't it?
1 month away month away from today, isn't it? Is it September 15th or 17th?
I'm not sure when you know when it is, George, Mexican Independence Day?
Well, Mexican Independence is September 16th, but I don't know what day it falls on this year.
It don't fall on Saturday?
I don't think so.
Okay, but anyway, that's huge for a lot of the Mexican people around the world. And I'm telling you, I know a lot of Mexican people who love Triple G more than they love Canelo. I wonder if it's the Mexican Americans, because you know what's crazy? It's the Mexican Americans, JJ. No, I'm being honest.
Believe me.
It's the Mexican Americans who love Triple G more than they love Canelo.
My cousin, bro, named his son Gennady. Gennady Maximus. He named his son, and Matt, he didn't even know this, but Max is Gennady Triple G's twin brother. Yeah. And that was just coincidental. But my cousin, who's big into boxing, Counterpunch Clothing, y'all look him up. He named his son.
Oh, yeah, shout out to Counterpunch Clothing, man.
Yeah, man. They love Triple G.
The Mexican Americans, but the Mexicans like who from Guadalajara or any part
obviously Guadalajara
of Mexico,
loves,
they like I don't know what's up with the Mexican Americans. Why they got a problem with Canelo, but the Mexicans. I
don't know Mexico. No, I know a lot of my my friends who are casual friends, and they're Mexican or whatever. They love Canelo, and they think I'm silly whenever I criticize him. I will I will criticize when I feel it needs to be had. But
Oh, they look at you one of the Mexican.
oh yeah, you just a hater. You don't support your own people. No, this guy looks nothing like me. First of all.
Yeah, but it just come with the territory. You know, you Mexican, they think, oh, I'm not supposed to tell. Oh, like me saying, like you see how Terence Crawford, when he came in there, well, you wasn't there, but you seen.
Oh, I heard about it.
That was a long-ass 15 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you got to understand, that's the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. And when he come in there and
He did
like
look
ice
up and
grill
down.
you like that, bro.
How'd
Like,
that make you feel
I'm
inside?
looking back. You know what I'm saying? But, you know.
Man, I wish I'd have been there, bro.
But it is what it is. But yeah, man, I got Gennady Golovkin. I got Triple G. I'm picking him. I know people may think I'm tripping, and I know.
And you love Canelo too. Let's take
Canelo.
because again, if this is somebody first time watching, they're gonna think, oh, there goes this big burly dude just hating on Canelo. No.
Look, our first episode,
Yeah.
I'm firing off on you about Canelo.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I've been having this. Is it called premonition?
Mm-hmm.
I've been having this premonition.
Talk to them, bro.
That Gennady Golovkin is gonna catch Canelo with one. You know how he throw them?
Oh, yeah.
And Canelo gonna drop and like one of his legs gonna fall behind him. I don't know, some deja vu type shit. I don't know if it was a dream or something.
Bro, that's real. That's what happened with Bevo on that Saturday morning. I woke up saying, hey, I got a bad feeling about this. And I put some money on Bevo that day, remember? So you got to follow your gut sometimes. Just to finalize that, I see what you're saying, and I can see a path where Triple G can beat him. But just straight up where they're at in their careers, man, this is 2022. It's not 2016 no more. I think Canelo's going to win that fight. I think Canelo's back to say, look, you don't think it bothers him when he sees his name trickling down the pound-for-pound list, but knowing he's still undisputed? I think Canelo's going to come out and shut a lot of people up.
But did he get a lot of backlash for that?
He didn't get backlash, but a lot of people were saying, we drank the Canelo Kool-Aid. He is still vulnerable. He's still vulnerable.
But why at the point when we wouldn't be drinking this Kool-Aid, him, doing what he was doing, like everybody had the right to drink his Kool-Aid. But he went up against a bigger guy who had just as much skills as him. And like we was having this discussion, a good big man can beat a little big man, but it's always a little big man that could beat a good big man too. It evens itself out, bro. And that was that one case where a better big man beat a better little guy.
I tell you what, 2022 has been beautiful to the sport of boxing, bro. And if Canelo Triple G lights it up the way we know it can, bro.
Triple G win, dog.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know. Like,
you staying retired? You retiring if you Triple G?
No.
If you win?
It just depends though, because see, if Canelo making $40 million a fight, if Canelo lose, that fight gonna be even bigger. They gonna have to get Triple G the majority of the money. If I'm Triple G and I'm gonna come back and let you fight, or I say, screw you, Canelo. You live with this the rest of your life.
Yeah, that's what I do, bro.
But I know we're about to wrap up.
Yeah, let's wrap
up.
Let's
talk about our Warriors Foundation.
We talked about that.
We tell everybody to go to spitbucketpodcast.com. Y'all go get all our merchandise, because 10% of everything that we do at the Spit Bucket Podcast, it go to the Tsb Warriors Foundation. Another thing, JJ, that you've been working your jelly on, orchestrating from the 214 to the 972 to the 469 to the 817 and bringing it together. Can we talk about this now?
The toy drive?
Yes.
Yeah, the TSB Toy Bucket. The
Yeah.
TSB Toy Bucket is going to be a toy drive we're doing at the end of the year, obviously for Christmas time, holiday time. So we're working with several gyms in the area. We've got several of them locked in to where they're going to be the hub for that area where you can just go take new toys to, and then we're going to come back around, clean up, pick them up, and drop them off at the big Toys for Tots drop-off center. I think there's one in Mansfield, Texas this year again, too. So the TSB Toy Bucket, again, we're going to be getting back to the community, getting these kids some toys and letting them enjoy Christmas and the holidays the way that we all would want to enjoy if we're kids.
Like that right there, that's just like a big thing for me right there. That's probably the most exciting thing I think that's going to be ever for me that we do with the Spit Bucket Podcast, because, JJ, we know it's a lot of unfortunate children out there who aren't able to get toys, and for us to just be able to brighten the day and give toys to a lot of these kids around the area, that's going to bring more joy to me than doing anything. That's going to make me go as hard to make sure we get everybody to show up and show out. I'm finna start politicking. You know, when you're trying to become the president of the United States, you got to shake hands and kiss babies. So all the people who know me, we need y'all to really dig into that. It don't cost nothing. They got dollar stores if you want to get expensive gifts, but they got dollar stores. We just need everybody to really contribute to our toy drive because it's a lot. Our toy bucket, let me get that right, the TSB toy bucket, because it's a lot of unfortunate kids out there who ain't going to be able to wake up and have that smile on their face. And we want to do our part to make sure kids wake up with smiles on their faces.
100%, man. And then just before we leave, we want everybody to know that we are out here. We want to show love to the city. So if you're a musician, if you're an artist, if you're a model, if you've got, if you're right there on the verge of that bubble bursting and for good reasons, like, you know, popping and breaking through, and if you want just that little extra push, link up with us, guys. We want to have you guys in here. We want to introduce you all to the city. We want to introduce ourselves to your audience while your audience gets introduced to ours. So holler at us if there's if we'll figure out ways to work together. Like I said, I think we got a shoe plug coming up in a couple weeks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A shoe.
Shout out to KO Therapeutic.
Obviously.
You understand me? Y'all see them right there. Once again, big shout out to KO Therapeutic. And next week on the show, Thursday on the show, everything that we want implemented into this show is going to be implemented the right way. But we still wanted to come on here tonight because this is what we do.
Like, yeah, it's been too long. So obviously, look, this thing might not be here next time. This might look a little different next time. But we're working through it. We want to continue to bring content. We want to bring more guests. So be patient with us as we work through the technical piece of it. But just know we are going all in this year to bring our content to you and to just mix up with the community because we want to be a pillar in the community at the end of the day, from taking care of kids, talking mental health, gifts, whatever, man. So we appreciate you guys, all the work that we've done thus far. We appreciate you guys for all.
Because when you talk about it, every guest is instrumental to people in this world.
Oh, yeah, man.
Every guest that we can have on here, no matter what it is you're doing, you're instrumental to somebody around this world, and your story will be able to touch somebody's heart.
For sure. Well, we'll be back on Thursday. Like I said, we'll be out here doing 3 times a week now, right?
Yeah, 3 times. We're going to be doing it for sure 3 times a week. This week we're doing it Monday, Thursday, and Friday. Like I said, if this wasn't our first week here and we had everything all the way together, of course, we would do the Anthony Joshua Usyk fight. That's a big-time heavyweight fight that I'm very intrigued about. But, yeah, man, shout out to my guy, JJ Solomon. Shout out to my guy, George Rendon, in the building with us. Shout out to Phil Mendoza. Shout out to all our wives, Mandy, Cynthia, Taylor. Shout out to all of our kids, just all of y'all, because it's about 8 or 9 of them combined, but JT, Joey.
Yeah, he takes the cake. George, the guy behind the scenes, he's sprinkling the world with his baby seeds. No, I'm just kidding.
But look, we love our kids because kids is blessings and they are a part of us. But so shout out to all them and shout out to our wives though, for real though. Because they give us the opportunity. They understand what we're trying to do. And, you know, they give us this chance to do what we're trying to do, live what we got to live our dream
100%.
and grow it up big. And without them, we wouldn't be able to do what we want to do. So to our wives, we love y'all dearly.
So much. Thanks for all the support and love and not yelling at us for doing what we love to do. So good stuff, man. Guys, please subscribe and share this. We're doing so much with the community. We're not just going to be sitting here reporting the same old news to everybody. So please subscribe. Please tell your friends. Please like this and share. And we appreciate you guys. We will see you on Thursday. Holler at you guys later. Have a good night.
We hate the spit bucket.